Welcome to the Anthony Lee Crypto Channel. I'm here with Jane. We may be having a little technical difficulties here. Can you hear us? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear us. I don't know. Gosh, no, just Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto Channel. We were having some difficulties there for a minute, but I think we've got it figured out. Give us a thumbs up in the chat again. I'm sorry if you can hear us.
It's Mercury retrograde.
It is definitely that.
Yeah, Linda put it's definitely Mercury retrograde for sure. Okay, you ready?
All right, guys. We still got some people piling into the chats. We got the VIP Discord going on over here as well. Some people are coming in here. Good. Getting some thumbs up. We got it going. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. It is what it is. It is that time. Jane's going to tell you all about it. I'm here with the lovely Jane. You all know her. She's going to give you the insight on what's going on, talk about the new moon today. We do have the VIP Discord going on right now, though, so we've got some people piling into this chat. We're going to give it just another minute or so here while they come in. I'm reading some of the chat over here. You guys can join the VIP Discord. We do have the website, anthonyleecrypto.com. You can join the free Discord or VIP Discord, so you never miss these good setups. But we'll go more into that, but I'm monitoring them over here, so.
So yeah.
So yeah, that is it.
Okay. I guess
All right.
Let's hop into it, yeah?
Yeah, let's go right into it.
Okay, well, Anthony asked me to come on today to talk about specifically the new moon, since obviously I'm an astrologer, so I sat down and really took a look at the chart, well, not really the charts, but really just the astrology in general. Now, with Bitcoin and trading, not just Bitcoin, but also the S&P 500 and all the other markets, it's pretty common to have influence from the moon cycle. So when you have a new moon, typically the markets go down a little bit, and when we make our way up to the full moon, typically the markets go up. It's not perfect. I think it's like what, do you know the percentage of success on that?
It's about a 60%, depending on the time of the year, time of the market, rather.
Yeah, it's seasonal, right?
Yeah, well, it's cyclical.
Cyclical.
Just one cycle.
Okay, but yeah, so anyway, so this is very general, but I really wanted to say, well, for this moon cycle, we've got this new moon in Scorpio happening around 1 or 2 in the morning on the 20th, so obviously adjust for your time zone, and what might the effects be over the next couple of weeks. Now, I looked at a lot of different factors, not just the moon, because obviously as an astrologer, in my mind, I'm like, well, it can't just be just the moon, because there's so many influences that impact the moon itself, the aspects and things like that. And one of the big things that's going on right now that I think is heavily impacting the moon is Mercury retrograde, which we know has, some effects on communications and specifically transactions, because Mercury is the ruler of transactions. So those two things together are kind of interesting to look at. Now, the moon itself, new moon in Scorpio, all by itself, does have kind of a fear component to it. We know that Scorpio is a highly extreme zodiac sign. It typically pushes things to the limits, and that pendulum really starts to swing. Now, over the past few days, as the moon was getting darker and darker from the last full moon, this market really plummeted. It went quite far. What is it sitting at right now? 90.
90, just under 91,000. So I'm working on turning the music down just a little bit.
Okay. Hopefully that's better. Sorry, we can't hear it. It just plays on the thing, but we can't hear how loud it is or not. And what was the low on it recently? It was like 88, where it got down to 88 price point. So I would say that that really aligns with the scorpionic nature, right? Really fear. There's a lot of fear in the markets in general right now. But really the goal is to say over the next 2 weeks between the new moon and the full moon, what is going to happen? Now, typically we like to say with new moons, markets go down. But I do think over the next 2 weeks, the price will actually go up, and it might go up pretty substantially. We have, with Mercury, I have all my little notes here. Let me make sure I get the dates properly. Okay, so we have Mercury going direct on November 29th, and also the day before that, we have Saturn stationing direct as well on the 28th. So November 28th, November 29th, which is a few days before the full moon. I think there's going to be a really big turnaround during that point. When Mercury starts moving forward, I've noticed in the charts that typically the markets kind of even out. We've had a little bit of volatility lately, and I mean, well, it's always pretty volatile, especially when we're looking at Bitcoin. It's always pretty volatile, but it's a little bit more so. And Mercury pre-shadow really added to that a lot. And I've looked back the past 3 Mercury pre-shadows, and every single time there has been massive spikes either to the upside or to the downside. And once that's over, we're going to start to see things really starting to turn around. Now the market may actually bump up a little bit above that, or before that I mean, simply because we have the sun moving into Sagittarius in just a couple of days. And Sagittarius, as we know, is a much more optimistic zodiac sign as opposed to Scorpio, which does, again, I mentioned this before, but Scorpio does tend to move to fear, and Sagittarius moves toward optimism. So there's a huge contrast between these two. Not to mention that we also have Mars in Sagittarius right now. During this 2-week period, Venus will enter Sagittarius, and this is also the sign where we have the fixed star and Taurus, which typically has a message, I guess we could say, a message or a feel of great success, and that's the drive, great success. And I have a feeling that over the next, we may still have a couple of bumpy days, but once we hit this heavy Sagittarius marker, I think we're going to start to see a pretty significant upswing. So this may be a cycle where we don't really see the downside of the new moon. I think we saw the downside building up to the new moon as the moon was getting darker and darker, but as it starts to wax and get brighter, we're certainly going to start to see the price increase. That's just my idea. You okay there?
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde stuff. It's been like that all day. Started with the speakers this morning, all these technological things. So anyway, those are my predictions. But also, keep in mind, people, I know that we always talk about the moon cycle with Mars. Well, not we, if you're one of my people coming over from my channel, I talk about Mercury retrograde all the time, but in stocks and market and day trading accounts, I hardly ever hear them talk about Mercury pre-shadow. And I've noticed that it does bring huge swings every single time. It's about 3 times a year. So keep that on your calendar if you're ever looking at the charts. What do you think?
Yeah, that was really great analysis. I was just staying out of the way. We do have a little bit of a lag here, so I'm hoping things are coming through okay, but YouTube is definitely having a bit of a lag here with streaming. So I'm going to try to show you some of the technical side of what she was talking about. Normally, so on my chart here, you can see the kind of white moons and the blue moons. The white moons represent the full moon, or what's in the market, any market. It doesn't have to be crypto, it can be any market. It's referred to as the bull moon. Usually that is a bullish moon, and the new moon tends to be a bearish moon. However, and these of course last 2-week periods. However, on the last 3 moons, I'm going to go ahead and highlight these, but we do have a lag. I'm not sure this is going to work correctly, but we have a moon there, should be bullish, moon there should be bearish, and moon here should be bullish. And actually we got a moon here, should be bearish. This one here played out beautifully in the bearish zone, but the other 3, so 3 out of the last 4 did not. This should have been a bearish moon, but we went up. This should have been a bullish moon here, but we went down. And this most recent one should have been a bullish moon, but we went down. Now it's not perfect, but it does hit about 60 to 65% of the time, kind of depending on where you are in the cycle. So technically, if you're playing the percentages with the new moon, it should be bearish, but Jane here thinks it's going to be a bullish moon, and with 3 out of the last 4 being wrong, the odds would actually lean to this being a more of a bearish moon, because it's supposed to be. So the last 75% have been wrong, so you would think it's bound to be right eventually. But in this case, the technicals, in my opinion, actually line up, and I do agree with her. This is going to be a bullish moon, so an incorrect bear moon in my opinion, and I'll show you why on a couple of charts that I have. We're really lagged up, so I'm hoping this is coming through correctly. But Bitcoin has been kind of in this straight downfall here, just falling down, 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 down for the last 2 months, just straight down with no relief, which is very uncommon. Now, cryptocurrency can have some massive volatility and some really big swings, but usually not this much without some relief. So, one, we're due for some relief, but we can't just go by being due, because the universe doesn't say you get what you're due. You get what you get. But we came down here to some support levels today, actually. Tracing back, I'm going to highlight this on the screen, tracing back to this value area zone from early on the cycle. This was from February through about April. This was our value area range, and you can see this dotted line where I extended across here. We actually came down and found some support and bounced off of there. So I think we're due for a little bit of a rally because we found that support. However, we do need to get over this critical blue line right here at 93K. That is the previous value area low. If we can get accepted back into this value area range that I'm circling right now, best case scenario is to go up to the POC, the red line, fight that for a little bit, and then up to the value area high, about $102,000 to $103,000. So if we can get accepted back into this range, that's what I'd be looking for. And it looks like we're off to a good start there.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What are your feelings? I know it's maybe a little bit too far out. It's 2 weeks though, because the full moon is on December 4th. Do you think likelihood of getting there by December 4th?
That's a good question. I'm actually, let me get to that in a second.
Okay.
I'm going to show you where that's coming. But let me pull up another chart that most folks may or may not be aware of, and this is the NVIDIA charts. NVIDIA earnings were released about 1 hour ago, and they surpassed the mark. So NVIDIA, in case you don't know, props up the entire stock market these days. So if they had missed their projections, then we could see the entire stock market, crypto market, everything really take a nasty dive to the downside. But they actually came in really hot, and after hours, they're up. The bell is already closed, and you can see this big green candle here. That is after the bell closed. They're up about 5% since close, since release. Now this is going to create a little bit of a potential short-term problem because it'll create a gap. The market is closed right now, but you still have after-hours markets going on. So price is still moving, and it's moving in the up direction. It's going to produce what we call a gap. And if you look back over here, you can see where this happened previously. It's happened a lot. You see this gap in price action? There's nothing right in here. That created a gap. So this price action, this big jump up here happened after the market hours. So what happens is they usually come back within a day or two and fill that gap. They filled the gap. So We could look for something like this. Price is right here where this white line is now. It's going to create a gap right here. Within the next couple days, it could roll back over and fill that gap. If that happens, you're going to be looking for a drop to the downside on Bitcoin. So we actually, to get a bead on what Bitcoin's going to do, want to watch NVIDIA. So we could be looking for a 5% drop on NVIDIA, which could be a much larger one on Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin were to drop from current price action about 7% or so, you would come down into my green box, which is actually my next target for a long. So I would really like to see in the next day or two, by the end of the day, Friday, to come down to this level. I would like to see price go straight up from here. But from the technical side, it would not surprise me if we came down to this box. I'll zoom in a little further to this box, and you can see this big green candle. It's a white candle on my screen, but this big white candle. That is since the release of NVIDIA. That is Bitcoin's price since the release of NVIDIA. You've got a big $2,000 candle in the last hour. But this green box on my screen, this is actually my next main target area where I will be taking a long if we get here. You got a macro 382 fib, you've got a point of control and a daily naked point of control there. That is a highly supportive area. So we're going to be looking for some big bounce there. And this is the big kind of bounce. I'm talking hopefully somewhere in the area of $20,000 bounce, at least $15,000 bounce. So this is a big one. This is one you're going to really go heavy on your long if you're into leverage trading. Now I'll show you another chart that's really interesting. This chart shows volatility, okay? Now the volatility is this yellow and red kind of area right here, and below that you see a kind of a red, white, and blue chart to the bottom, indicator to the bottom. That is stochastic. So volatility, when these lines right here are headed up, if you follow my cursor, are headed up, that means volatility is increasing. So pricing can be going really rapidly or really aggressively up or down, just depending. Now the screen below is stochastic. That shows the direction of the market. So when stochastic is headed down, but volatility is headed up, that means we're moving aggressively to the downside. So just like, yeah, which we did right here. You can see this most recent one. We've got volatility in the red, so we're extremely maxed out, very, very, very volatile. And stochastic here was pointed straight down, and you got this big, nice move to the downside from that. Now, if you'll notice, this is on the daily chart. Stochastic has bottomed out. Every time it has been bottomed out, look at these, bottomed out. What do we see on the top side here? Big moves to the upside. This particular one that I'm highlighting, this is a move of $16,000, about a 15% move when it bottomed out and volatility was pointed to the upside. So if we can get the crossover here, which we will if we close today above $90,033. We're currently at $91,000. So if we close this day in 40 minutes where we are, this stochastic will point up with volatility headed up. So we should be expecting a significant move to the upside. Now this is on the daily chart. So sometimes this can take 2 or 3 days to start going because you've got to get the smaller time frames, the hourly, the 15-minute, the 4-hour. Those have got to flip around. But with daily headed to the upside and volatility headed to the upside, we could be expecting a pretty significant move to the upside. So we could possibly get a quick move tomorrow or Friday to the downside to fill that NVIDIA gap. But that's all it would be. It'd be a liquidation move to the downside, a quick, but the direction is fixing to be to the upside. It's a pretty significant move to the upside. So I think over the next 2-week period, we're going to get a failure on this typical new moon, bear moon, and I think it's going to be a new moon, bull moon.
Yeah, I think so too. But it would make sense if we did a quick wick to the downside, at least a wick, or a couple days down there with the new moon. That would make sense.
Yes.
Because that would still be, true to the bearish nature of a new moon.
Yes, and we've got that really good support area, so I don't see it going below there. That's about the $83,000 to $84,000 zone. I do not see it going below there without a significant bounce, regardless of the moon, just from the technical analysis standpoint. So we could drop a couple more $1,000. I don't know that we're going to get that drop, to be honest. With NVIDIA numbers, we may actually go up here for a while and come back and get that gap later. But if we do, like I said, I would expect a quick 1 day, just a few hour drop down and rebound right back up and head it on to the upside.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it from the technical analysis standpoint.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I think one of the things from an astrology thing that I did mention before, but I just want to kind of harp on a little bit is on the 28th and 29th of November that we have two planets stationing, and Saturn, which is a very powerful, slow planet, and Mercury, which is a very fast turnaround type of planet. So there's a contradiction going on there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some significant price action on the 28th, 29th of November between those 2 days and December 4th, which is the full moon, that would probably be a pretty significant growth or upward trend period for the price point.
Yeah, that's a great point. I agree. So now going into the new bull moon, getting a little ahead, putting you on the spot, because who knows what's going to happen between now and then. How do you foresee that playing out?
I actually looked at the moons, because it's a full moon in Gemini. And I was trying to tell you this before, that Gemini is such an unpredictable zodiac sign, and there's no consistency historically with the full moon in Gemini whatsoever. It's up, down, year after year. It's always opposite. I still feel like there's an upward nature to that, just simply because of what the Sun and Mars are doing at that time. I did notice that when Mars is involved aspect-wise during a moon, that there is typically an increase in price.
Yes.
So, and Mars will be involved with that full moon. So I think that December 4th, it will shoot up. I think that'll be a normal bull moon.
Yeah, I agree. So with technical analysis, things fall in line like a domino effect. You've got all the 1 minute, the 3 minute, 5 minute, all the way up to like the monthly and more, the yearly time frame on some assets. And you need them all to start falling in line. Things happen on the 1 minute, then the 5 minute, then the 15 minute. So going back to that stochastic versus volatility metric, it looks like we're going to close the day curving to the upside for the daily. Also, the 2 daily closes tomorrow, and as long as we close above $90,069 or so call it $90,100, as long as we close above there, the 2 day is going to stay positioned to the upside. And the higher the time frame, the more powerful the move. Now, that should initiate some movement to the upside, okay? Maybe not a super powerful one, but we're getting there. Looking at the 3 day, 92.7 will cross to the upside with volatility already headed up. And we can get this to cross by closing this is tomorrow also. If we can get above 92,700 and close tomorrow, you're going to get the 3 day pointing up, and that is a very powerful signal. And that could bleed over into the weekly, which is at 102. Now that sounds far away. That's $10,000 away, but that is really, Bitcoin can do $10,000 in a single day. Yeah. And if you get that 2 and 3 day pointed to the upside with their closes tomorrow evening, then I think this 102 is very doable. And if you cross this 100, look at volatility, already headed to the upside. If you can get this stochastic to cross at 102, you could see some fireworks here, possibly even new all-time high. But certainly up in the area, my target would be somewhere around 116 to 117 for Bitcoin. So the pieces are starting to fall into place. The dominoes went to the downside, and now they're slowly but surely the lower time frames are bleeding into the higher time frames back up to the upside. So I think we're about finished with our downside moves here for now. The downside is not over for the cycle, but for now we could get some relief, a significant rally. At least up to that 102 area, and if we break that, then we're going to be looking more towards the 116, 117 area for Bitcoin. But that's going to take some time. That could take up to about a month. It can happen in a day. Bitcoin can do it in a day, but typically a time frame for that will be about a month down the road. So we'll know everything we didn't know after tomorrow night's close, though. All right, so I agree. I think that this is going to be a false bear moon. And I think that is going to bleed over into a legit bull moon or full moon in 2 weeks. And that is going to be a continuation moon for what we have going here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. What else? Let's see if you got any questions. Let me check the VIP Discord chat. If you guys aren't in it, you can go to my description on my page. Please go subscribe to our channel. That's all we ask. Just a little support subscribing to the channel. Let's look in the VIP chats. we talked about working out on the stream earlier. You can tune back in, check that out. Today was leg day. Got a little bit of legs, a little bit of back in there. That's okay.
I think it was leg day last time you did live.
It was leg day last time I did. And listen, I hate doing legs. I hate doing legs, but I vowed this week I was going to do 2 leg days this week. So I got in my deadlifts today. I skipped those the other day, but we actually went to the gym together today.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. She made me look bad. She made me look so bad. I had to throw in the towel. She was like, "Really? I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. She does great. She does great. She's a lot stronger than you think." All right, what else do you think? We have anything else coming up in the sky?
I mean, there is a lot, but I think for now we'll just stick to that. Otherwise, we'll get a little too complex. I also just want to note that, because I mentioned that this last downward volatility, this like boom, 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 continual down, really associated with Mercury pre-shadow, but keep in mind that Jupiter was also retrograding, so there was an expansion of that energy, which is why it was such a dramatic drop. It wasn't just like a little choppy thing down, it was pretty significant.
Sure.
So Jupiter amplifies and magnifies everything when he's at play, so that was a big part of it too. When he stations direct next year, that will be also a really big astrological event to pay attention to with the prices. Although I do believe Mercury has more of an impact. Since the stock market, Bitcoin, whatever market you're in, is so transactional, it's like constant transactions over and over, that's the realm of Mercury. So Jupiter can have influence, but Mercury is 100% the one to look out for. What you looking for?
Oh, I'm just looking up what you're talking about.
Oh.
Trying to learn.
Try to use it to the advantage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I hear you. But really, I went back, at least this year, I went back and, it wasn't consistent in terms of being always up or always down. It was very either up or down, but it was huge candles to the upside or downside, and just lots of extra movement instead of just like the little kind of wavering around. But it always brings lots of movement.
And also, for those of you interested in altcoins, I did a few altcoin videos over the last couple of days, but I do believe we're about to get a significant alt season. I know not everyone is into Bitcoin, but these altcoins should be coming to life here in the next few weeks. Go check out those videos, and if you have any altcoins you're interested in, let me know, and I will do specific technical analysis and shoot videos on those for you and put them out. So let me know what you're interested in. We are invested in some altcoins ourselves. We have significant holdings in several altcoins. WorldCoin is our favorite. I know the chart looks terrible. I did a WorldCoin video yesterday. The chart looks terrible, but I'm expecting big things out of this. And go watch that video if you have any questions, or if you want me to do video on yours, then let me know and I'll be happy to do that. Looks like we got a couple of chat comments here. That one's going to be one for you, it looks like.
Oh yeah, Mercury retrograde is opposing Uranus. Of course, Uranus has a lot to do with the volatility aspect as well. Uranus is currently in Taurus. He's just retrograded back into Taurus, so he is sitting exactly on that 29th degree of Taurus, which is a very potent degree, and of course Taurus rules money specifically. And over the past 7 years, since 2018, he has been in Taurus, and that's really the period of time that we have seen massive shifts into the digital currency space. So yes, Uranus in Taurus has a big impact. It's not so obvious though. A lot of technological systems have converted to using crypto technology behind the scenes, like banking transactions, credit card transactions, wire transfers. Us, the end consumer, probably have no idea what's going on in the behind the scenes, but crypto has, or digital currency, or the technology behind it, blockchain technology, all of that has really overtaken the old outdated software and technology that we used in the past. So while it may not have been the most obvious mass adoption, we're all using it to some degree. So yes, Uranus and Taurus has had a big impact. So Mercury opposition, of course, is going to kind of play along with that too.
Sure, great.
Yeah.
We got another question here. What are your current swing trade setups? That is a great question. We do leverage trading here on the channel. Be sure you go to check out the Discord. It's a free Discord and a VIP Discord. You can get it at anthonyleecrypto.com, where I give my live trade setups, and we sometimes leverage tens of thousands of dollars. And we'll show live profits of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in profit. So it's legit. We will put these out live as we're taking them and doing them. So be sure you don't miss those setups, but I'll give you some freebies here. Currently, I'm looking for a possible, I want to see a reaction here because we could be in for a more significant move to the upside. But this little squiggle squaggle line that I drew on the chart, I just threw a Fibonacci retracement on here. You can see I've got the golden pocket and the 786 retracement levels here. They're coming in right here at this value area high. You can scroll back, you can see the value area high from this previous range. They're coming in right here at this value area high. I know it's a big range, but really anywhere between 100.5K to 103, somewhere in there, I'm going to be looking for a swing short. And I'll update this chart and put it up in Discord. I'll go ahead and make it look official and put these fancy little boxes on here for you. But I'm going to be looking for a swing short there, and I will not take this trade blindly. I'll be watching and I'll set alerts as price gets close. And if I see the reactions and the bearish divergences that I'm looking for, I will take that trade. If not, I will let it ride up to these other boxes. You can see these are in my Discord already posted, so you can get those there. But these other boxes up here are my swing short areas. This will be the first one right here. Up here, I would say probably closer to 102 to 103K. Now, to the downside, I would be looking for the swing long that I mentioned earlier at the point of control, the 382 for the entire macro range, and there's also a daily naked point of control here. And I would enter this blindly. I would just set a long for that area.
What's the price point?
That's coming in around $84-ish thousand, right here right around $84,000. I mean, you don't have to be exactly. This is a range. This is a zone. So really, I would set it somewhere around 84.2 with a stop loss around 83.6. So a little $600 range there, and I would just set it because no matter what, I would anticipate a really large bounce there. So I would set an alert, and I would look, and I would set a pretty tight stop loss. $600 is a pretty tight stop loss for a range like this, and I would let it ride. That's going to be my main long area. I'm not going to look to long anything until we come down, if we come down there, and if and until we come down there. Several short areas above, because right now the trend is still down. We're hoping for these stochastics to flip around head to the upside, but as of now, the trend is still down. So if we get that NVIDIA wick down and Bitcoin follows suit, I would look for a big bounce there, and my next target would be somewhere around this 102 to 103 area for another short. Good question. How about the rest of you? Any more questions for chat? Look at the VIP Discord, see if we've got anything there. These guys are killing it over here. They're posting their profits from the last few trades that we gave in Discord. They're killing it. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm gonna clean this chart up and put my trades on there, make them official. I'll screenshot that and post it in Discord shortly after the stream. So, okay. Well, anything else?
No, I don't think so. Not for me.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Sure,
We
no
appreciate it. I know everyone's happy to see Jane. She does a great job. She's so wonderful, and we appreciate you showing up to see her.
Yes, thank you.
Got one, Linda. We love you too. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you so much. All right, we'll talk to y'all soon.
All right.